There were a lot of winners, there were a lot of losers, there were a lot of in-betweeners, teams that won and lost in the 2019 NBA free agency, but I'm going to talk about a little bit of each. But to start things off, my biggest winner in 2019 NBA free agency had to be Kawhi Leonard, Mr. Fun Guy himself. He left the Toronto Raptors, who he brought a championship, the first championship ever in their franchise history. He was the Finals MVP. He helped that team get over the hump after years of underachieving. He left that organization to go sign with the Los Angeles Clippers. He played the silent game. Nobody thought he was going to go sign to the Los Angeles Clippers. There was 1,000 reports out saying that he was going to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers or he was going to re-sign with the Toronto Raptors. Not only does he go and sign with the Los Angeles Clippers, a team with grinders, gritty type of players, a Hall of Fame coach in Doc Rivers, with Patrick Beverley, with Lou Williams. Not only does he goes and signs with that team, he gets Paul George to basically say he wants out of the OKC Thunder. He wants to leave. He demanded a trade, and he gets to pair up with a co-star who is a top 7 player in the NBA in Paul George. And both of them are going to be in the Clippers with each other for the next 3 years. They have a player option after their second year so they can see how the team is functioning, if they're going to win a championship. If they win a championship, they're probably going to stay, extend their contract, re-up for a larger contract. But he does all that. So that's a very impressive move by Kawhi Leonard. And then I must say I was very impressed with the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that lost both their superstars in Paul George and Russell Westbrook. Sam Presti basically went out and said, you know what, we're going to hit the reboot. We're going to start basically over. We're going to we lost Paul George. Our championship window is closed. We're going to get rid of Russell Westbrook. They're probably going to get rid of more pieces. They got rid of Grant. And don't be surprised they get rid of more pieces in the upcoming future. But they got 15 draft picks in the next upcoming 7 NBA drafts. That's twice as many as they're supposed to have. And for the next 7 drafts, and they have 4 of those draft picks that they can potentially swap out for a better pick with the Houston Rockets and with the Los Angeles Clippers. So you get 15 draft picks in the future. So for talented individuals anywhere between 10 to 18 years old, there's a big possibility they're going to be playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. If you look at LeBron James Jr., look at Zaire Wade, look at Mikey Williams, look at some of these talented young prospects that have just entered high school, or Zaire Wade who's leaving, about to be a senior, and then probably going to go to college for a couple years before he comes out. It's a chance they're going to get one of those key young players, up-and-coming studs in the future that's going to probably be wearing an OKC Thunder uniform. And that's very impressive what Sam Presti did. He just hit the reset button. He saw that basically they were imploding and taking a nosedive, so you might as well just say, you know what, forget it. We're going to do what's best for our future. We're going to make sure we're going to play the long game. We're going to get all these assets, stockpile draft picks, and we're going to just take our chances in the future. So I was very impressed by Sam Presti, who has a history of drafting talented players. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant. He drafted 3 MVPs. So I have a lot of faith in OKC Thunder in their future, and Sam Presti did an excellent job, even though he lost Paul George and he lost Russell Westbrook. Another winner is Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson is going to a great foundation in New Orleans. He was the number 1 overall draft pick. They selected Hayes. They selected Alexander as well. Then what did David Griffin do? He went out and he got J.J. Redick. He went out and got Derek Favors. And then he traded for Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram as well, Josh Hart. So you have a good nucleus. You have a group of young guys that Zion Williams can grow up with. And then you have some veterans in the locker room that can help teach Zion, also teach some of the younger players as they continue to develop along their career. So I was very impressed with David Griffin. I'm very impressed with New Orleans and what they did. I think the New Orleans Pelicans was a winner as well. Now some in-betweeners, teams that got better but kind of got worse at the same time. So kind of stayed the same. The Milwaukee Bucks, they signed Chris Middleton to a 5-year, $190 million deal. And reports came out it's really a 5-year, $175 million deal with incentives that can reach up to $190 million. I thought that was too large of a contract for Chris Middleton to be the second best player on your team. But I understand why they did it, because you have to keep Chris Middleton to make Giannis Antetokounmpo happy, because he's, like he said before the offseason even started, he wanted all those guys back. They also re-signed Brook Lopez, a 4-year, $52 million deal. He was a key member of their championship caliber team that they had last season. But they lost Malcolm Brogdon to the Indiana Pacers. And that's a big piece that they lost because he's really a 50-40-90 player. Shot 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, 90% from the free throw line. He's a good, solid starter, and they lost him probably because they chose to re-sign Eric Bledsoe in the regular season. They probably should have let Eric Bledsoe go instead of letting go of Malcolm Brogdon this offseason because he got a deal from the Indiana Pacers, and basically the Milwaukee Bucks just couldn't re-sign him. Another team that was a winner and a loser at the same time was the Philadelphia Sixers. And the reason I say this is because the Sixers, they won because they signed Al Horford to a deal, and he's the only big man in the league that can stop Joel Embiid. So now he's a member of the Philadelphia Sixers. So that is a win for the Philadelphia Sixers. You get Al Horford, a veteran big man who can also fill in when Joel Embiid is, 10, 15 games. He's probably going to miss each and every season for the next few years. And then you get the only big man that can stop him, and you pair them with each other, and now there's nobody that can stop Joel Embiid in the Eastern Conference, or really in the NBA. Other than Al Horford, he was the only player that I've seen give Joel Embiid trouble, and now that he's a member of the Philadelphia Sixers, so shout out and kudos to the Philadelphia Sixers for doing that. And also, they got Josh Richardson in a trade for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler decided to go to Miami Heat, and they got Josh Richardson, who's a younger version of Jimmy Butler, if you ask me. He's 25 years old, 26 years old, has a lot of upside, 3-and-D type of guy. He's going to fit nice with the Philadelphia Sixers. But the reason why I feel like they also are a loser because they lost their closer, Jimmy Butler. They re-signed Tobias Harris, but they don't really have a guy that's a closer. They don't have a guy that you can say, go get the ball, give the ball to and say, go give me a bucket, go create your own offense. That was Jimmy Butler. And that was the role Jimmy Butler thrived in. And the Philadelphia Sixers lost that. So that's why I say it's kind of like they won, but they lost as well. So they kind of really just stayed the same because losing Jimmy Butler, who was their closer, is very, very difficult because they don't have a closer on their team. There's no guy on the Philadelphia Sixers in the waning moments of the game you can say, go give the ball to, say, go make a play, go give me a bucket. Is it Joel Embiid? Not really. Is it Ben Simmons? No. Tobias Harris? No, can't really put the ball on the floor. So losing Jimmy Butler, I think is going to be very, very – it's going to be a challenge when they get into the playoffs and when they're starting to face teams that, the game is tight moments, key situations, who you're going to get the ball to. So I think losing Jimmy Butler was a big loss for the Philadelphia Sixers, but they won because they paired Al Horford with Joel Embiid. So I thought it was a win-lose type of situation. So basically, they kind of stayed the same. Speaking of winning and losing at the same time, the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat signed Jimmy Butler, who is an all-star caliber player, one of the best players in the league. But it's kind of like you didn't trade for Russell Westbrook, even though the pairing would have been a little awkward, but you still would have had two studs instead of one. And now you signed Jimmy Butler, who's 29 years old, who's had injury problems before. You signed him to a 4-year deal, and basically you didn't get any better. Your team's going to still be competing for a 6 to 8 seed like they were before Jimmy Butler. So it seems like to me, Jimmy Butler just wanted to retire early, and shout outs to him. Get a big deal, go to Miami. I'm not mad at him. But the Miami Heat, you signed Jimmy Butler, but it didn't improve your team. It didn't improve your organization. It's not going to make you win. It's not going to make you compete for a championship. And if you're Pat Riley, you're in it to win championships. But maybe this is just like we're going to sign Jimmy Butler for a couple of years, and then we're going to go really hard, extremely hard in the 2021 class and probably try to get a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of those big other name free agents that are possibly going to be on the market. Maybe Kawhi Leonard, maybe Paul George. So maybe that's the Miami Heat's plan. So they kind of won because they signed Jimmy Butler, but they kind of lost because Jimmy Butler isn't going to really get them over the hump. Or, to be honest, Jimmy Butler can't be the best player on the championship caliber team. And if you're the Miami Heat and Pat Riley, that's what you strive for, is to win championship. So that's why I say they won and they lost. Now, speaking of losers, here we go. Losers, of course, James Dolan. James Dolan lost the most because your organization got rid of Kristaps Porzingis, who is on this rookie deal with the belief you're going to sign two max free agents, KD and Kyrie, some combination of KD and somebody else. That didn't happen, and so I'm telling James Dolan, like everybody else, like Matt Barnes said on the jump, you need to sell the team. You need to give the New York Knicks a chance, give the New York Knicks some hope, because right now, the New York Knicks are a dysfunctional franchise, even though the GM that they have in place, Mills, and the guys that they have in that front office, they're doing some good things. They're making some right decisions, but nobody wants to sign there that they really hope for, like the big name free agents. Like you get guys like Julius Randle, you're gonna get guys like that, but nobody wants to sign a superstar free agent, not want to sign because they don't believe in James Dolan. So that's not really the front office's fault. It's more so that the Knicks are kind of stuck in purgatory, limbo, because of James Dolan. If they want any chance to sign a big free agent, James Dolan is going to probably have to sell the team. So they're the biggest losers in the free agency. Also, the team that Kristaps Porzingis went to, the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks lost because they had a whole bunch of cap space, and everybody kept saying they were a sleeper pick. A lot of analysts watch out for the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks didn't get Kemba Walker. They didn't get They didn't get Chris Middleton. They didn't get anybody. They got Seth Curry. So it's just kind of like that is a loss. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, you didn't get any big time free agent to come and play. You're not even a big time free agent. You didn't get any tier 2 or tier 3 free agent to come and sign with your organization when you have two studs like Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic.